All right. Good morning, everybody. Jack Gleason with StartupTrading.com. It is 9:22, September 22nd, 9:17 in the morning here. And we're going to start off with the NASDAQ and go back through. I'm still bullish. My bias here is going to be bullish here in the NQ. Um, and we're going to follow some sequences below us. If we go back to the anchors on Wednesday, we did complete those Friday at the end of the day. So that anchor, which traded Wednesday off its 38, we're going to take that to the new high. And I'm going to move my discount level up to that 38% retracement. So if we get down there at any point this week, and that'll be adjusted, of course, if we make a new high, that's going to be something I'm going to be paying attention to. And that is 24,675. Setting an alert there. Now, as far as a more aggressive situation or sequence, the swing low from Thursday, I'm gonna get rid of the extended section here. I'm gonna show you some price action that we witnessed. Go down to a 5-minute chart. Um, so Thursday's low, which was about 9:45 in the morning, to what was at the time um, Thursday's high. We traded that 50% retracement multiple times, and then we traded it really cleanly uh, on Friday at 11:30. So I will look for that to trade again as support, and right now that level is the 24,743. That's going to be a little more aggressive than the deeper pullbacks. So 24,743 is an anticipated level of support for me. Now the other situation where we are bullish here, and we're trading 24,000 to the 800s roughly. If we bust through Friday's high during the day, I will adjust my support levels to be more aggressive. But at this point in time, I want to see a touch of 24,743. That would give me the best structure for bulls. But you can make the argument overnight, we basically traded it. We were front run on it at 3 o'clock in the morning by 5 points. Since then, we have been holding the midpoint or the middle of Friday's price action. That's what's been holding here. And in the last 30 minutes, we've reversed higher and held this micro long. Okay, and you can see we're moving off that. That was just a really quick, clean trade there for about what 30 points. So we'll see what we do off the open. I do want to see it test that lower level, but if we don't get it, I'll be adjusting to more aggressive support levels here this morning in the Nasdaq. Moving on to the S&P. The S&P did not quite get that profit target hit of the extensions from Wednesday, but either way, I'm going to adjust this draw. That 38% retracement is 66.92 and the 50% is 66.81. Both of those levels have been acted as previous supports, just coincidentally lines up with the basically the low of the overnight session on both Friday and today. So those are going to be the immediate support levels below. I don't have an aggressive series like I would in the NQ, where Thursday's low to high is something I'm paying attention to. I'm not willing to be that aggressive. Also, something to consider, the high in the ES is off the profit target of FOMC. So we did complete a higher time frame profit target within a few points. And at some point this week, that sequence from what is the high of the fifth to high can come into play again. That can come into play again. Um, and I'm gonna make everything really above that 38 is bullish on the daily chart. And when I say my bias is bullish, of course there's always a two-sided trade, but we want to be on the side of realistically what the path of least resistance. And if you take one look at this chart, it should be pretty obvious that the path of least resistance is higher. So if the ES I'm gonna get rid of this extended session here. If the ES has a really aggressive bid here today, let's see, the 6,700 level is gonna be like the most aggressive thing I would want to see, this 6,700. So you got 6,700 as a support, maybe trade this morning, and then 66.93.75. Those are going to be the two levels. You can see the 6,700 has already acted as support, but if we were to sweep those lows, take out that overnight support and just kind of trap some people, 66.93 is that perfect level. So I'm going to spend an alert at that 66.93 as well. The 6,700 is really just a support, the support play off the open. We've been consolidating on this for 6 hours. That trade's kind of set and already in, so we'll just have to see what the reaction is off the open. For gold, gold continues to be the most bullish market, casually opening up almost 1.5% here on the Sunday night. We're up 50 points, and the gold open here at 7 o'clock this morning, 7 o'clock my time, I should say, 8 o'clock New York, really clean. We have an extension from the high of 915 last night that has traded now twice. Once the target, this is the same anchor new high, bullish above really anything all the way down to that. We're so above the upper mid. The midpoint of the prior day is 60 points, almost 70 points at this time below us. So quite a breakout in gold. Another new all-time high here and higher time frame targets. I mean, let me go to a daily chart. We didn't even pull down into this extension I wanted to see us come down into. We held this more aggressive extension. And the next target I have above is going to be a 37.93 and then really 38.29. So we can be clean moving until we trade those levels. This is a trade I would like to get in here today. The most aggressive bid, just a halfway back from the RTH low to high, gives us a 37.52. So I'll have to pay attention to gold here today and see if we can rotate down to that. And for the only bearish bias I have out of the 4 markets I watch is oil. And you can see we're really getting to the bottom of this edge here that's been holding for quite some time. And if we lose it, we have a trend bar down here on the daily. We've been slammed 4 days in a row. We've already completed targets from the overnight pullbacks, which is beautiful, but the next real big support level or anticipated short target I would have below is going to be a 60.66. So we're going into the day in oil with a bearish bias. There's this beautiful anchor that's traded here multiple times. If you guys remember going back to, was that Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday? There was this weird halfway back. I think must have been a news event that hit at like 11:05. And then we had an extension anchor begin from the bottom of the 10:55 bar on Thursday, 10:55 a.m. That traded on Friday to target overnight. Beautiful entry at the European Open, and we've run straight down $1 here. To and through targets, I would say the most aggressive thing. I mean, if we could trade the halfway back short for the day, that'd be great. I don't know if we're going to get up there, but a 62.30, if we do, something, whether it's today or tomorrow, something I'm more than willing to sell into. I would say if we get down to like, I don't want to say anything's oversold unless we get all the way down to maybe like 60 here today. That's another $1, which of course can happen. It's really not that big of a move from here. Be another $1 from where we currently are. We're down 1%, so we'd be down about 2%. If we got down there in CL, I'd look for a potential reversal. But other than that, I really just want to only focus on shorts. But it's a matter of CL actually getting bid high enough for me to want to actually. Oh, you know what? My face is totally in the way of this. Let's think about stream my face. I forget where it is. It's high enough for me to actually get an entry. So that's what I got here to open the day. We've got about 5 minutes to the open, and we'll see if we can get some of these anticipated support levels to trade. But yeah, that's what I got. I'll jump back on the mic here in about 10 minutes once the market's open, and let me know what kind of questions you guys have. And if you're watching on the YouTube and commenting on the YouTube, I don't look at the YouTube comments. When I'm streaming, I just look at what's in my Discord. So I'm not going to see them if you are typing in there. But feel free to conversate. Off to the races. This would have been a really nice long here this morning. Trend bar. That was like right at 9 o'clock. As soon as you get to your desk, I mean, start analyzing because sometimes like you can miss a really good entry by like 15 minutes, but that's ideally like what I look for. You got support at the midpoint, value area, or sorry, not value area. You have a trend bar, take out a swing high. You have a single print, and then you get a halfway back. But if you're not here, or even I mean, I was here. I just really wasn't dialing down my analysis quite yet. I was doing a couple things, but great move. Big old bar. 30 points so far. 1 minute. I'm gonna get long. We're actually right at the halfway back to the ES. Getting long the ES. We're at the traditional from the prior day. This basically what I'm doing is I'll put a stop at 64.04. It's like a 5 point stop. And we'll see we move up toward the gap 67.33. I set a timer for it's just a good open and we're still near the traditional 67.33. Yeah, we're holding. If we don't revisit that low, which can happen, we're holding pretty aggressive sequences off the open. So I just kind of got long this 67.09, just being aware, seeing that bid immediately off the open. This is the regular trading hours, 50% retracement for the ES. In the NASDAQ, technically, like when you're just looking at the regular trading hours, we just held an extension. So the NASDAQ would have a target here of new highs, 24,920. And when we get that NASDAQ target, I'll potentially take off my ES, but I figure we can run up towards the gap fill, which is still another 10 points from here. Gold coming down. Let's see if we get that extension of trading hold again. Ugh. Monday. There's a halfway back from the low in GC. We're so far from the upper mid in gold, it's hard for me to want to take an intraday continuation. Like if I had we had the chance to get long the extension when it traded at 7 o'clock Chicago, which I was not at my desk at 7 o'clock, to be honest. So I'll tell you what though, if gold can get down to 37.35, 37.35 and 37.42s are what I would have. $30 ticks out of the low in CL. Come on, do something. Just kind of hanging out by my entry. There we go. Pump it up. There is, if oil can hang out above here, there might be an actual long setup in CL. We put in a trend bar, we have a fair value gap, and we have completed the extension target from the overnight session all within the same area. But I want to see us, I don't want to see like a fast halfway back long. I want to see us kind of like rest and come into it. Not really liking the way this is acting so far. Might get down to that 6,700 here in the yes. Moving my target down to ES off this. If we can get up there, just rotate it to this potential next traditional. I don't know. We're not continuing the bid off the open, which I was hoping we were going to do. I was hoping we just go like bar, but right now we're just looking more like a consolidation. Not that it's gotten bearish yet, but I was hoping for like just a hyperbole bid off the open based on like where I got long at 6709s. But if we're not doing that, I'm going to adjust my targets lower because we're not meeting my expectations or what I anticipated. Been in the trade for about 10 minutes, so bring oil into my screen view here. So CL had a completion here at 61.86. We push below it, and then we've inverse fair value gap, trend bar. So this halfway back long at 61.80, I will start bidding, and then we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Move it up when it moves up. And then gold, we're kind of coming down to this second test of the more aggressive extension. There's a lower extension with a 38% retracement at 37.41.6 and then 37.35. Those are going to be the two levels below us if we do break this, but we're still holding it at this point in time. Nice little reaction in ES off the 67.06. That's where I needed it to react, but taking my targets at 67.14 half, just because I don't like my entry, and like I said, I was hoping for a bid right off the open. We're still holding the levels, but I'd rather just take that next measured move as opposed to like try to run this all the way up to a larger target. I was looking for like a really fast continuation. We're still getting a continuation. I've been in this trade for about 13, 14 minutes. But if we can get 14 half, I'm taking it. Oil's holding in a 1 minute extension, just not quite ready for that type of aggression. New high, the regular trading hours for the ES. Nasdaq trying to push to. Gold coming down. I'm gonna drop a order at 41.6. And GC. It's just my next support level below. Still bullish that market. $47.8 is the retest of the 50 of the higher draw. So that's what could potentially hold it up. Oil coming down now. See if it gets at 61.80. And there's NASDAQ through high of the day. See if that'll push up ES to my target. I'm gonna move my stop up in the ES below the low of the day. Really no reason to have it pass then. Actually move it to 0675, so tightening my risk. Gold is holding the retest so far of the 50% at 47.8. One more point and I'll be out of this ES here. Little small target start day, 5 points or so, a little less than that, like 4.75. All right, so the ES completes this micro target. See how far we go if we continue up from there. There are higher time frame targets, but like I said, if I would have bought this 06, which was a better entry than my 09s, but I didn't. In and out of that trade in 20 minutes. Reset my timer for the next one. Oil not cooperating. run into the negative 61 there, and yes. See if we can get traditionals from that move. I'm gonna step in the NQ at 24,848 if we get it. Staying aggressive so far. holding an extension in the ES. We'll have to see if that ends up being the pattern. Also, the next halfway back in the ES is 1275. So I'm going to place an order there too. We'll just have to see if we can get down there. Holding bids higher right now. New high. We're going to take out the prior day's high in the NQ here very soon. Gold swinging back down. Might get that gold entry, that CL entry too. Both those could potentially come into play before my indexes at this point. CL's gonna keeps holding that extension. Hold it for a second time. long CL for this little breakout. Index is pushing up, anticipating CL to get up to like a 62.20 here on a breakout. All right, extensions hold in ES. And complete. We have a 930 anchor we can use in the ES. And you could argue if we push through highs, let's see here this morning, not quite ready to pull for the extension and the NQ. Best case scenario for this oil move, though I'd probably look for another entry if it happens. 62.30 is the halfway back short for the day. Gold's still holding it strong long. I'm going to cancel that lower order. It does not look like we're coming into it. 62.30. I'm going to leave my exit at 62.20 right now for CL. NASDAQ order would move up to 24,954s. This is actually, there's an extension in the NQ from the 845 high. I'm going to leave my order at 48s. That's the 50 of the extension now. Actually, I have like a 1 point front run on that. I'm like 49. ES goes to 14s for the halfway back. Wrong button. Great. So we'll see if we can come into these bids. Just traded the 38 of the extension in the NASDAQ. Just not bidding that aggressive right now. We traded the 50 in the ES. Almost an hour into the day. 45 minutes into the day. Might actually place that GC order back in. We have not been able to continue higher there. So 46, 37, 41.6 is where I want to get long if we do it. If we trade there, I should say. Index is holding extensions, so just wasn't that aggressive. I was looking at the next traditionals, and those next traditionals, I would not be surprised if they don't trade later. I mean, I'll be on the mic, streaming on YouTube in the morning, but later in the day, I'm gonna go, Zoom only, keep my comments to text, but you'll still see my orders in the Discord. Oil picking up. Still holding that extension in CL. There's an extension that you can be seen on a 1 minute time frame. I'm hoping for a breakout, kind of a trade back up to the upper mid, but been there for now an hour, bumping up on this 62 level. We need to punch through 62s. And I mean, I think we get a 62.30 would be the halfway back short for the day. I would not, I'm the longer we spend in this consolidation, the higher I want my target to be, which I'm going to move to the halfway back short for the day, 62.30 right now. Ellie, that's funny. Just sitting here, man. Just sitting here. Sometimes, I mean, I'm just looking at everything. Sometimes I'm just reading stuff on the internet, trying to make sure my posture is good. Oh, stretch. Your posture is probably better than mine being a dancer. Got nothing. Just get to stare at my screen. Let me turn my video back on. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. Um, Come on, CL. Man, going higher and aggressive in extension. So I mean, I guess those extensions until they break. Do, 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 do. Here we go with the oil. Finally, another completion in ES of the extension. Nasdaq has not quite completed. We are approaching that higher time frame NQ target. Um, just at 24,920s. Get rid of the extended session here. a CL stop up. Um, Ellie, that shaded area down there is FEG. I mean, are you referring to these areas? Yeah, they're fair value gaps are just basically the same thing as a single print. Right below the extension. Yeah, if that's what you're referring to in the NQ. I don't have that draw up anymore. Actually, I do have that draw up. I just have my extended session turned off, so it looks a little different. But this morning we had this traditional through targets extension, same anchor new high. We bid off the 38. Let's hoping for the 50. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, these index limits are going to be off the table. Off the table. No reason. Let's see, gold. I'm like really tempted to short gold, but we're just moving a lot higher. Higher time frame targets complete there in the NQ. And ES getting up. I mean, well above where I bought this morning, but it's all right. Can't run them all for 30 points. I think we're heading up to prior day high there in the ES. So what that is above us, I can't tell. Or no, we're already through that. No, we're not through it yet. We are coming up on it. Hour and 15 into the day. into the open, taking one trade in the ES and one trade in CL. Here's that through that prior day high. ES coming into that 33 target, and then maybe as we go into lunch, or coming out of lunch, there'll be a pullback. I don't have much to do right now in the indexes. Those entries have come and went. Got the morning entry, and then there was some more aggressive entries that did not came within, a couple points of where I wanted to buy, but continued along without me. So we'll see some setups later in the day here. Now that we've completed that target, we've swept highs. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a pullback here. I'm going to draw those same extensions in the ES. Gives us a 67.23 50% or chasing there in the ES. And then for the NASDAQ, it'll be all the way down at 24,800 and call it 69 gold breaking out here. No position in GC. Held the more aggressive support on a second test. Still sitting in oil, slow moving, but that's all right. Looking for 62.30s. Seven-point bar in. I mean, I Ellie, I don't have a trade number goal ever. I never think about that. I've never thought like I have to place X amount of trades. I simply thought, you know, the trade at the 50 was the better trade. And honestly, that's why part of the reason I trade multiple markets is, if you only trade one market, I think you probably are more susceptible to the fear of missing out. But if you trade multiple markets, you're not that susceptible to the fear of missing out because one's gonna have a setup. If you're trading one market, you miss, sometimes there's only two setups a day in the market. And if you miss that morning one, like I knew like when we took off from that 38 that there probably isn't going to be a setup for me for a couple hours. But I'm sitting long oil, so it's like whatever. But I mean, it's just, I mean, how you get over FOMO is your own thought process. Like, why are you afraid? Like, what are you afraid of? I mean, FOMO stands for the fear of missing out. What are you fearing? That there's not another trade? Is that a rational thought? Is the rational thought that if I'm not in this trade, my trading career is over? Like, there's no rational thought there. So you just kind of got to dissect it. You can be that more aggressive at that 38, but I think in order to bid 38s intraday, you kind of got to, in intraday setup, bidding a 38 before we've blown through a negative 100 of a traditional is like pretty aggressive and just not my standard thought process. So if I miss it, whatever, it's fine. Wait for the next setup. All right, I'm gonna shut down the YouTube here in a minute, keep up the Zoom, and then go to the Discord and just I'll answer questions via chat or maybe jump on the Squawk later in the day. Yeah, Zoom will stay up with my orders. I don't really think there's a whole lot to do. Right now, I'm in oils, have been for a while. 62.30 target, 61.05 stop. And just twiddling my thumbs until then. And yeah, we'll have to wait for these next setup. These indexes are just running away without an entry, and they need to develop into next pullbacks. Yeah, I mean, LA just trade super small size. Just trade literally one micro. Bracket order, know your stop sizes. It's the same type of setups. But yeah, I mean, if you feel like you have a hard problem and you're only trading one market, that might be a solution for you. Yeah, I mean, are you wanting more action? Then you got to go get it instead of forcing yourself into a trade, trading on a market. I mean, we're just running away. What are you going to do? We're just running. Are you going to buy highs here in the indexes? Like, if you're not in this trade, like, then there's more. It's just over. There's nothing to do. It's just going to keep going. I'm not. I'm that. That's not my style of trading. I'm not going to buy highs. Like we've gone straight up for 30 minutes. There's no setup now. There will be a setup in 2 hours. But if you need to be in a position for 2 hours, either get up from your desk, hit the gym, do something else. But anyway, it's 11 o'clock here. Shutting down the YouTube. I'll see you guys tomorrow on YouTube. Keeping up the Zoom, and I'll answer questions in the Discord.